afternoon. My name is Amanda and welcome to The Done Creative. I just wanted to let everyone know real quick that I have started a new channel for all of my future live streams. So if you enjoyed or have yet to even check out one of my live streams where I do free readings for you guys, you can go ahead and check the description box below for the link for the new channel. Otherwise, let's get into this pick a card. So this pick a card reading is going to be all about how to cope, how to overcome something you're currently going through, how to move on. We are in a time right now at the time of my posting where a lot of people are going through some lots of healing is taking place, and sometimes when we are in the healing process it can be a little difficult. We may get lost along the way and just feel like this is going to be my life forever. I'm always going to have to feel these horrible feelings and on. And I hope that this pick a card offers you just a little bit of guidance, if anything, on a way you can move yourself through this energy and how to cope with it and how to move on from whatever it is you're going through, whatever situation, breakup, loss of a job, anything difficult you're going through. Maybe you just simply had a fight with someone and you're hoping to get back on track. Hopefully this can bring you some guidance. So if you're new to pick a card readings, I just ask that you close your eyes, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to try to center your energy and focus in on piles number 1, 2, or 3. And if more than one pile calls out to you or you have multiple scenarios that you're hoping to overcome, you can assign a pile to each scenario. You can do this reading however you want. So once you've selected your pile or piles, you can go ahead and check the description box below for the timestamps, and I also pin them as the top comment. And please remember, you guys, only take the information from these readings that resonate with you and just leave the rest behind. It wasn't meant for you. So without delaying this any further, I'm going to give you a moment to meditate on the cards, and I will see you over at your reading. Alright, group number 1, let's go ahead and find out how you can cope, how you can move on, what you can do to heal, however you want to interpret this for your situation. Let's get into it. So I never look at these before, I just lay them out as you see me here, and half the time I don't know how they're gonna look, so I hope that looks alright. Let's get into this, how you can move on, how you can cope with whatever it is you're going through. So you have first here the 6 of ink, calligraphy, fluidity, skill, and patience. So this is going to be something that, whatever it is you've gone through, has been a major soul learning experience for you. This is something you signed up to have happen. And again, I'm not trying to blame anyone for where they are at. Only take that bit if it resonates. But I believe to a certain extent that we do sign up to experience certain things for our soul's growth here on earth. So if that part resonates, great. If not, go ahead and leave it behind. But I feel like you guys wanted to experience this for your soul's evolution. But here with skill and patience, to me, this is going to take patience. It's going to take time for you to get through this thing. It's not just going to be a snap of a finger or let me just put on a happy face and everything should be fine. This is a major healing you're going through. This could be spiritual, mental, physical, emotional healing. This could be all of the above, or just choose the couple that resonate most. But this is just a all around healing for you, that you're overcoming whatever it was you've been through. For some of you, it might have had something to do with your body. Maybe you've had an illness or something go on where you had a trauma with your body or body image issues. I'm not sure exactly what your question is because it's going to be different for each of you, or whatever your situation or scenario is. But here with this mirror card, it says treat your body like the palace it is. And you have the number 4 here, which is the support of your guides, angels, crossover loved ones, even supportive people here in the 3D realm. So this is just asking you to treat your body well through this healing you're doing, through these shifts, through these changes you're going through, this transition of life, because your body is that physical vehicle for your soul in this incarnation. But here she is just dancing and loving herself as she is. So maybe some of you really had that self-worth issue, or someone else really made you feel bad about how you look, how you dress, who you are on a physical level. Someone may have tried to make you feel ashamed for who you are. Only take that if that resonates, but I'm seeing that very specifically for a couple of people. With this Two of Thread card here, twine, it says agreement, symbiosis, and compromise. So yes, your situation, whatever it is you're trying to overcome, does involve someone else, if not multiple other people. But with patience here and compromise, I feel like you are going to be able to find a decent balance of something beautiful moving forward. Maybe you're not going to get all the wins along the way, but for the most part, you're going to feel like you really did come out on top. Whatever it is you're going through, you're going to look back years from now and say, you know, it's actually maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise I went through all of that, because I wouldn't be where I am now, which is in such a beautiful place. But here, remember what we were saying about patience. Now we've got perfect timing over here. So this is the right time for you to move forward. So for those of you who have been stuck or really ruminating or trying to heal something from the past, now is the time to start really moving forward on that healing journey. You're ready to take that next logical step forward, again with patience and care and love of your body as you do so. But many of you, you know, and me included, a lot of times when we're doing this healing work, we just don't even know what ends up. We feel like we're in the ocean being tossed around in a storm, and it can be difficult. But when we can make a plan, that will give us some semblance of feeling like we have a little bit of control over our lives or our bodies or the situation, whatever resonates for you. But making a plan, even if you don't completely stick to that plan, just the action of you sitting down with a pen and paper or really thinking it through in your head, making a plan for your next logical action step, that's going to feel, like I said, like you feel in control of it. So you're going to be able to, you know, kind of pull up your bootstraps and be like, okay, what do I need to do? Let's get this figured out, because that's going to help you feel in control. That's where I think a lot of you have had a lot of issue, is just feeling so out of control, or like a victim, or like someone else is in the driver's seat of your life in some capacity. But you making that plan, that's really going to help you feel back in control of your own awareness, your own energy, your own situation. So then with the environmental awareness card here, this to me, when this card is pulled, this is just that reminder to stay present, because especially when we're going through healing or some traumatic experience, we can keep looking back in the past, which is great when you're healing, but don't stay there. If you're going to take part of your day to meditate and work through some issues or do some journaling and do some healing, look back, do what you need to do, but then when you're ready to move on with your day, come back to the present moment, because that is where your power lies. You can't be a victim in the present moment if you have your presence, if you are in the moment, because that's where your power lies. So for many of you that feel like your life is out of your hands, like you don't have any control, your control lies in the now moment. But for some of you, this just might have to do with something that had transpired in your environment, and now every time you go to this specific job or this specific area, you're like on high alert, like it's scary to you, or you're just really like I just heard head on a swivel, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna go wrong now? This is Spirit's way of just saying, take a deep breath and try to relax yourself, because you don't have to be on such high alert. Even if something terrible had happened in the past, doesn't mean it's going to repeat itself, because I think many of you have learned the lesson from whatever has happened, and it's not going to be something you need to repeat, because you got the memo loud and clear and you're like, yeah, never again will I allow that to happen. So you can let your guard down a little bit. But again, according to your actual situation, you take the information from me here that resonates. But you are learning skills to cope. So some of you may have entered therapy, or you've just been doing a lot of your own self-work, self-care, meditation. That's really going to help you move through this energy. Again, going back to feeling in control of your own life, feeling in control also of your own energy. With this energy work card here, the number 22 adds up to a 4. So you've got 44 on the board, also 22. So you may be seeing a lot of 44s or 22s on the clock or on license plates or just out in the world. And that's just going to be Spirit's little nod to you that they've got your back, that you're healing, that you're doing the thing. And 22 is that number of partnership. It's a master number. So some of you may have had a breakup or something really going on in your relationship that's really been very hard for you. And you're getting these messages from Spirit that you're working through it, that you're supported, you're guided, and whatever work you're doing on a relationship or future relationships, remember, you don't have to be on high alert that this one thing's going to happen again. You're building a new foundation for something much more solid and stable in your life. But for some of you, maybe you're carrying this pent-up trauma that you had gone through in one or more of your chakras here. You know, a lot of times when we get disease or dis-ease within our body, it's a result of built up, pent up trauma that we did not release or heal. And then it starts to manifest in our physical body, because energy is everything. And when something's really going on with one of our energy centers, these are just the main energy centers. We've got chakras all over and surrounding our body. These are just kind of the main 7 of them there. But just however you work with energy, this is just a nod to say, yes, do some energy work, do some energy healing, energetic work. You can go on YouTube and find different meditations, cord cutting or cord removal meditations, energy clearing, chakra alignment, you know, whatever resonates for you, for your situation. You can look up a specific to your situation meditation and see if that exists. And if it doesn't, maybe you could create your own and just run through it in your head as you just listen to some really calm music or something. But doing some energy work, maybe even booking a Reiki session with someone, would really help you cope. But again, I'm hearing also therapy. Some of you really would benefit from going to a therapist or some sort of coach or person you can speak to. Maybe even it's a close friend that you can just get everything off your chest and just really spill it out there. Because sometimes you'll notice when you start talking about what has been ailing you or what has been bothering you, it all just comes flooding out, and even things deeper than what you realized were affecting you start coming out, and you kind of almost have an epiphany like, oh wow, I didn't realize it was actually affecting X, Y, and Z, or that it affected me that deeply, or whatever's going on. But just remember, perfect timing, divine timing is at play in whatever's going on in your life. This is the right time to move forward. And as you have that patience, as you take that special care of your body and your energy, you're going to start seeing benefits and results of all this healing and hard work you've put into this, whatever the situation is. And staying present in the now moment, making a plan, that's going to really help you feel back in control of your own life. So I hope that resonated for you guys and brought you, even if just a little bit of clarity in whatever it is you're going through. And my heart does go out to anyone going through any major stuff right now, because it's been a pretty heavy thing just in my own life. And I figured that this would be a good pick a card to put out there. I know it's probably not a very widely searched pick a card, but I think it's a very needed pick a card for a specific amount of people. So if you found this, I'm glad that you found it and that I could offer this for you. And you'll have to let me know below what you thought and if it resonated. If you want to share any of your stories, there are a lot of supportive people here on my channel that are just high vibe people that want to help each other. So thanks again, you guys, so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you right here back at the Den Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 2, let's go ahead and find out how you can cope, how you can move on, what you need to do to get through this. All right, group 2, so we're going to start right up here with this 3 of paper fold card. Transformation, learning, and change. So yes, whatever it is you've gone through or are currently going through, it is a result of just things in your life that definitely needed to change. For some of you, this could be addictions. We've got to address your addictions. And addictions don't always have to look like drugs, alcohol, sex, and all the main addictions we think of. I'm really being drawn here to this sugar here. So some of you may have used eating or just not treating your body very well as a coping mechanism to get through. And maybe that's why addictions and sugar came up. For some of you, that could just be a little nod from the universe to let you know that maybe it's time to cut back on that and just try to really assess how much sugar you're consuming or whatever your addictions are. I see someone else that's dealing with just being addicted to scrolling on their phone or just having their phone on them at all times. You may actually be very heavily affected by EMF frequencies, or that's the electromagnetic frequencies of Wi-Fi, of the radiation from your phone, and just all of the electronics in your life. So maybe getting out in nature, taking a walk, will really help you. Grounding will be key as well to help you feel more supported, more stable in your life, because you are going through those changes, those transformations. So that's that chrysalis energy, from the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly. So this is a beautiful moth here. So moths are much like butterflies. They do go through a very similar transformation. But with this protagonist card here, curiosity, drive, and motivation, this is just a reminder to you that you are the main character of your story. Some of you may have forgotten that and put other people ahead of you in making your own life choices, or just allowed other people's opinions to really steer the car or vehicle of your life. And you're done with that. That's a big change you're making, is becoming more independent, taking on more of a role of protagonist or main character of your own life. You're done letting other people tell you what to do. Not to say you're going to be a complete rebel and never listen to anyone again. This is just balancing out how much of your power you gave away to other people, or that other people took from you. I'm not saying you purposely gave anything away, but because sometimes people just take what's not theirs. But this is just a reminder to you guys that you do have free will, and you can take all of your power back simply by closing your eyes right now, putting your arms back out to receive, and say, I call all of my power back to me. I want all fragments of my soul put back to me. And if you want to make it a whole thing, you can light some candles, burn some sage or some incense as well, write it out in a journal entry, maybe burn that journal entry to alchemize it, transform it into something else. Make this your own unique thing. Make it a whole ritual so that you can see the importance of you claiming your power back. Or even just simply going into meditation with some really relaxing music, or even a guided meditation that you could search specific things here on YouTube or any kind of meditation app to go into meditation and do that release of what's not serving you, and then calling back all of your power back to you. That might be very powerful for some of you, a way to get through this or move through whatever it is you're going through. So especially those of you who are dealing with an addiction of any kind, this can be a simple addiction or a really hardcore addiction. It's just, I'm really seeing you being able to reach out to other people for help, because you can't do it alone is what I'm hearing. Or if it's a simple addiction, like, oh, I need to cut back to 1 cup of coffee instead of 3 a day, you maybe don't need like full-on support for that, but some of you, just talking to a friend would be all the support you need to really help you make any necessary changes you need to make in your life. But with this number 2 card here, Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt. And remember, normally the protagonist is the main character, the good guy in the story. The evil queen is usually the antagonist or the bad guy in the story. So you may have felt like the bad guy, or others tried to make you the bad guy in this situation, and that's just simply not true. Maybe you've even made yourself the bad guy, beat yourself up. Stop doing that. That's not true. You should not be beating yourself up. Even if you did make mistakes and called people names and just were acting unsavoryly, and that's probably not a word, but just not acting your best, let's put it that way, you can't beat yourself up for that forever. So forgive yourself in maybe a meditation or journaling it out. Journaling might be important for you guys. I think that's the second time I've talked about writing things out. So reminding yourself that you are the main character of your story. You are a good guy. You're the good guy. It's cool. But you deserve sugar, not salt. You deserve to have love. You deserve to have peace. You deserve to have a good life, is what I'm hearing. So stop beating yourself up and try, if you might, to get out of that ego mind that's like, you messed up again. How dare you? You're worthless. All the things the ego likes to say. When it's coming from a place of fear or lack or accusatory kind of statements, that's not your higher self. That's not from love. That is pure ego. So if you can step back into that heart chakra, that heart center, and really connect with yourself, doing those self-love meditations as well, reminding yourself you deserve love, you deserve the good things in life, that's really going to help you come back to yourself, bring all your power back to yourself, so you can actually operate from a healthier place moving forward. So then we have the winter card here. The answer to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. So if you're watching this at the time of my posting, here in the US, we are currently in February, but we are going into March, which is the turn into spring. March 21st, that equinox is going to be the turn to spring. So if you're watching this at the time of my posting, before the winter is over, you're going to be able to have the answer to your prayers, or your affirmations are going to start being realized in your life. But if you're watching this later on, maybe it's just during these winter months coming up for you, wherever you're at on the world, time-wise and all of that. Take it as it resonates. But even you can take winter metaphorically, and that could just be as a result of you kind of hibernating, going into hermit mode, going within kind of, I just keep hearing hibernation, kind of going into a bit of a spiritual hibernation, almost like that chrysalis energy as well, to allow yourself to heal and feel these feelings and emotions so you can heal them and deal with them and release them once and for all. So they aren't still those backpack full of bricks I always talk about here. You're releasing those bricks to really lighten your load so you don't have to carry all of that into your beautiful future. It did say here, the answer to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. You pair up affirmations with visualization. I think visualization is really going to help you guys move forward. Not visualizing and ruminating and remembering what has actually happened and transpired. Especially those of you who, I am seeing someone who'd been through a really nasty breakup, or you're in no contact with someone currently and you're beating yourself up for things you said or did. Visualizing a reunion or a reconciliation. Visualizing you in the job you want, or in the home you want, or in the life you want. Visualization and saying positive affirmations are going to be two really key, beautiful ways you can actually create what you want and help you move through this denser energy that maybe you've been going through. So visualization, maybe even making a vision board, could just be a fun kind of creative way for you to be able to know what it is you're trying to create in your life. Then we have the number 24 here, flow like water. 2 plus 4 adds up to a 6. The 2 here is all about partnerships as well, but also awakening, spiritual awakening. So some of you may have been through that dark night of the soul, which does feel like a big winter, you're going within, you're hermiting yourself away to really deal with those spiritual things you've got going on. So some of you may have actually even had a breakup. I'm really picking up breakup vibes for you guys. But with the number 6 here added up here, that is that unconditional love. That is that motherly energy, that motherly love, that universal, unconditional love. And I feel this is you guys giving yourself that love. And then as a result, you're going to be getting that love from others. But flow like water, especially when things feel really hard. I always use this little analogy here on my channel. But when you're trying to struggle, like you're in a river, a very swift, fast-moving river, and you're trying to swim against the current, and you're just trying to swim up the current, and it's just not working. You're losing ground. All that effort is not paying off. It's actually working against you. That's when I say to just surrender. And it's not that fatalistic kind of surrender where you put yourself in victimhood and you're just like, well, I give up, whatever. It's surrender to what is. This is how things are right now. I surrender to that. That doesn't mean you have to stay in that energy. That just means that you surrender to knowing this is where I am. You're acknowledging where you're at. So maybe some of you need to acknowledge where you're at and then just surrender. Stop fighting that current and just flow with the river. Flow with it. And then you are in the present moment. When you can start flowing, you're in the present moment. And as you see these logs or boulders in the way on the river, or if you're wanting to take this kind of detour on the river and not go down the waterfall over here, you can steer yourself. When you're in that present moment, when you are the main character of your own story, that's where your power lies. You can start steering yourself down the river, and you might start moving very quickly. Once you come out of that chrysalis, it's like it's on and popping for you guys to really transform and learn and make any necessary changes in your life to become that shining star of your own story once again. So I hope that this message brought you some guidance and some clarity, and maybe even a couple of hints or tips on how to get through whatever it is you're going through. And my heart does go out to all of you who are struggling right now and have been struggling. It's not an easy time for a lot of us here on this planet, but we really are going through some ish so that we can release it and move forward and have a higher vibration that we can operate from moving forward. We can't bring all that hard, dense guilt, shame, anger, rage. We can't bring all of that with us into a higher vibe. So that's why it's coming up for you guys now to be released so that you can move through it and become that shining star of your own story. So I think that's all I'm seeing for you, group 2, but you will have to let me know below any stories you want to share or any thoughts. And as always, you guys, thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really truly do hope to see you right here back at the Den Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 3, let's go ahead and find out how you can get through this, how you can move on, how you can cope with this energy, whatever it is you're going through, the situation, relationship. Take it as it resonates for you, but let's get some information on how to move through it. So I already have some pretty major chills going on with this pile. This resonates so strongly for me and a situation that I've been going through with my best friend who passed away, and the fact that we may have been twin flames. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of feelings coming up. So this may either really resonate or not resonate at all, depending if you've lost someone to death or a breakup, and it doesn't even have to be like a love partner. It could be a friend, a family member. But if that's not your scenario, this might not resonate with you. That's just like most of you choosing this pile. I see it as you're mourning the death of someone, you're mourning the loss of a relationship in some capacity, a breakup, just life circumstances, something like that. Maybe even the loss of a job or a home, a big loss. Like this is a big thing in life because we have the 5 of thread here with the needle. Pain, shock, trauma. This was something that totally traumatized you in a way. Just even if you didn't admit it to yourself at the time that it happened, over the years you may have repressed or buried emotions surrounding this thing. If it is something that happened a long time ago, if this is something that has happened recently, maybe you're still really in that shock phase where you're not fully knowing or understanding how deeply this hurt you, affected you, wounded you. It was very traumatic. Even if you weren't, physically assaulted or something like that, that doesn't always that's not the only way that we are traumatized. Sometimes it can be a bunch of little things, kind of, like these 5 needles, little needling away, people's snide comments or verbally abusive language people use, or, something like that. It may not just be any one thing, it's just a buildup of many little things that create a really big trauma. And for someone, I know this is probably a flower or something, but I'm seeing almost like it's a tooth being ripped out by the roots. So some of you may have had some sort of traumatic issue with a surgery or like a dentist even. I don't know. That's just really weird that that's all coming up. But someone may have had even a traumatic, I've seen this on like the Discovery Channel or TLC where these people are under for surgery, but they're awake and they can feel everything, but they can't scream, they can't move because their body looks like it's under, but their consciousness is there and they can feel it, and it's like absolute torture. Like that's how whatever transpired, even if that may have been your exact thing, I'm not sure, but for some of you, that's how painful and deep this feels. You're feeling everything. You're like, I feel everything. It hurts so bad. I just want it to leave. I want it to go away. I want to push it away. But many of you, especially if this is something that's built up over years and years and years, maybe many of you try to push it away, or you were very successful at pushing it down, pushing it away, not dealing with it, not examining it, or maybe not telling yourself the truth of how badly, how deeply this affected you. Maybe you lied to yourself and said, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. I didn't need that person in my life anyway, so good thing they're gone. Or, telling yourself lies that I didn't care for them anyway, so good riddance, goodbye. Some of you really are at this moment and moving forward, and maybe even in the recent past, really deciding, I lied to myself. I do care, and it hurts so bad. And my heart goes out to you because I recently went through something very similar with the loss of my best friend. So I really am seeing a lot of that in your pile. But let's get into this. The 7 of paper, cover, protection, beauty, and wholeness. So Some of you may have felt like your whole world collapsed. With that protection there, you felt like the foundation just was crumbled right out from under you. The foundation of a home, a job, a relationship, a situation of some sort just felt like it was crumbled right beneath you, and you felt incomplete as a result, because this is a card all about wholeness. But as a result of you doing the healing, doing that inner work, letting these feelings come up, allowing yourself to feel them and not trying to push them down again, shaking them out, feeling the feelings, that's going to help you come back into this state of protection, beauty, and wholeness that you've been seeking for a very long time, many of you. But it's going to come as a result of quiet time, lots of introspection, lots of journaling possibly, time alone in nature, time alone in general, without other people's auras and energies mixing with yours to confuse your situation. Because when we're going through healing, it's like, we had this example in group 2, but I'm taking it a step further with you guys, going from the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly. That chrysalis phase is very dirty and dark, and it's painful probably. I mean, I've never been a caterpillar that I know of going into that chrysalis, but I can't imagine you shedding all of your being and revealing something within is anything but painful. I imagine it's very painful. But, you think of that chrysalis, it just wants to be left alone so it can writhe and transform and do what it needs to do. But imagine someone, like a child or something, finding a cocoon or a chrysalis and sitting there poking it with a stick. It's like, when you're around other people and you're trying to have an emotional breakdown, it's like other people, even if they're just trying to help or be your friend, it can feel like they're poking you with a stick as you're writhing in this pain and this trauma. So allowing yourself time alone is going to be key for you to be able to process the emotions of what you're going through. You really do need time alone. For some of you, that might look like booking a vacation by yourself. We've got the number 39 here, which adds up to 12, which adds up to 3, which is a creative number. Maybe you're planning a vacation to just go near the water so you can paint or write or journal. Journaling has come up for all 3 piles very strongly, so that just might be something you can do. We do have a book here too, journaling, really putting your feelings into that journal. Even if these feelings are toxic and yucky and you don't want to keep them, you can always burn them or discard them in some way. But planning a trip either by yourself or with others might be a good way for you to get out of that normal trauma zone that you are in, like say in your own home. When you're feeling these feelings, everything just feels stagnant and the same. But when you can get yourself out of your regular energy by going on a vacation or a trip, that really helps you get yourself in a new mindset. You're seeing things from a different perspective and stuff. But quiet time is going to be key for you guys. So then we have the number 16 here. Bitch fire, stand up for yourself. And to me, this match has just been lit. You see that there, it's not all the way down near her fingers about to burn her. This match was just lit. So some of you are really seeing a light come on in your life as a result of allowing yourself to feel these emotions, not getting stuck there, but allowing them to move through you and having that intention to heal them as they come up and release them as they come up. Your intention is everything through the healing process, and in anything in life, your intention literally creates your reality. So setting intentions that you're releasing this stuff, but not just releasing it like, yeah, I don't want it, let's get it out. Feel it. You gotta feel it to heal it, to deal with it, to release it. That's what I always say here. But look, we've got the number 7, which adds up to that very spiritual number. 16 adds up to a 7. So the number 16 might be very prevalent. Maybe something happened on the 16th or the 7th of a month or in the 7th month. Or you're just seeing a lot of 16s or 7s. Maybe you're a life path 7. Something about the number 7 is really going to be a key to really releasing a lot of trauma for you. But standing up for yourself, maybe some of you are finally speaking your truth. Even if you're not going back to the people who traumatized you or the situations that traumatized you, maybe you're writing those things out in a journal or just allowing those in your life to know where you stand from now on. If they, little things they've done have triggered you into this trauma. Standing up for yourself is going to be key, but you've lit that light and now it's just going to grow and burn brighter and stronger and more beautiful and bright, and you're going to be actually someone who people can look up to as like a success story. You really overcame. You didn't become your trauma. You felt it and then you released it and you leveled yourself up like that phoenix rising from the ashes of the trauma. That's what you're doing. But think things through is what it says here. That's just some advice. Allow yourself to think. I mean, of course, sometimes when we think about the past or the traumas that have happened, we start to spiral. But sometimes that spiraling is exactly what we need to do, because a lot of us, when we do start to spiral, we're like, oh no, that's getting a little too dark, a little too deep, a little too real and raw. I don't want to go to the root of the problem. I'm going to come back up to the light and love and roses and rainbows. Sometimes what we need to do is allow ourselves a safe, vulnerable, quiet space to spiral. Allow yourself to spiral. Get to the literal root of whatever has caused you pain and trauma. Feel it, heal it, release it. Imagine that energy coming up like a black cloud out of your body, and you're breathing it out from the deepest depths of your soul. You're breathing out that trauma. And I know that sounds cheesy and woo-woo, but it actually works. I can attest to this. I let myself break down. I was in the bathtub. I was shaking. I was moaning and groaning and crying out. I was just allowing my body to writhe and letting that dense traumatic energy that has, like not dealing with the grief, the loss of my best friend. I just buried it down. Well, it's been there for a while, so we got to dig it up, and it's not going to be fun. It's going to be very painful. If not physically, at least very, very emotionally painful. But allow yourself to think these things through, to bring them up from the depths to the surface so you can release. Sometimes that's what we need to do. Then we have here, everything's okay. This is the one I wanted to end with, because wow, don't worry. It's all working out in a beautiful way. So all this pain, all this toxicity, all this trauma you've gone through and are now healing and releasing from your life, it's brought you to your own power. It's brought you back to your soul. It's brought you back where you need to be so you can move forward and really be a beacon of light for others who have been through similar traumatic experiences or just been through trauma in general. You're going to be this like success story that people can be like, wow, he or she overcame something really magical. He or she overcame something very painful. And wow, they're still here to tell about it. They're still shining. They're still smiling. They're still enjoying life and not totally broken down. They didn't let it break them completely. That's how people are going to see you, as someone who's this beacon of light. Just really drawn to this match that's been lit here. And especially those of you who haven't really started or allowed yourself to go through the major depths of that healing process. Because what I see it is, it's like, a lot of times when we suffer some sort of trauma in our lives, it's like we don't even know how to process that or deal with that. It's just too much. It overtakes us. It overwhelms us. And life is still continuing on. So it's like we still have to get with the program or buck up and go to work or take care of children or, do life, clean and do the dishes and just do all the things we got to do anyway in a day, plus deal with the trauma. So a lot of us will bury it down. It's like that gunshot analogy I use. It's like putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound. The bullet's still in there. It's festering. It's maybe even turning to gangrene at this point, but there's that Band-Aid's still there. It's time to rip off that Band-Aid. It's time to go in, dig down to the depths of the bullet, the gangrene, the infection of what's going on there, sterilizing it, cleaning it out, allowing yourself to go through and feel all the pain of that, cleaning it out, clearing it, that's the release part of it, and then stitching it back up and putting the bandage on and then allowing it to heal the proper way now. This whole thing has been a little graphic and a little dirty and a little deep, but I think you guys needed that because many of you that have selected pile 3 here have really been through it. And again, if you haven't been through something that you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, this pile definitely was not for you. This is for those who have been through the darkness, through the ish, and are ready or are already starting to come out on the other side of that. You've got this because everything is okay. It's all working out in a beautiful way. This is something that your soul wanted to experience on this planet. I know a lot of times we think, well, I would never have signed up for this. Why would anyone want to experience this? And if you don't resonate with the fact that your soul chose this, that is just fine. Those of you who do subscribe to the fact that your soul chose this, just keep that in your forefront, that I wanted to experience this on some level, not the 3D level, definitely not on the 3D level, but on some level my soul wanted to experience this, So I'm going to heal, I'm going to overcome this, and I'm going to come out on the other side to prove to my own self, to my own soul, that I can do it, I can make it through, and I'm still here, and I'm still doing the thing. So I applaud you guys. You guys really have been through something, and I love you, and I really do hope that this message brought you a little bit of guidance or clarity, or even just a hot tip or two to really help allow this trauma to come up and move through you, because where you're going, how brightly you're shining, you can't take that trauma with you. Yes, that thing happened to you, or you experienced something, or a breakup, or a loss, or you're moving on from one thing to another, but as a result of you going through that, you have gained protection, beauty, wholeness, and strength. I see the lion card, the strength card popping in hot for you guys right now, because that's the energy you're going into. Oh, that was heavy, but we got through it. We did it. You can do it. If you're still on the end of healing where you have a long way to go, just hold your own hand through it. Don't try to force it and make it happen faster to get through it quicker. Just allow whatever's coming up to unfold and come up. And then when you hit that breaking point where it's just become too much, allow the floodgates to open and you to release a lot. Allow yourself to feel what you're wanting to feel, what your soul is wanting you to feel, so you can release it and move on. But I love you guys. You will have to let me know below any stories you want to share. This is a safe place to do so. We have such a high vibe chat, high vibe tribe, a high vibe comment section here, and lots of support can be found. So I love you guys. Thanks for sharing all your comments and stories. And as always, thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really truly do hope to see you right here back at the Den Creative. All right, bye.